a lot of my prayer was like that. I know I'm doing something dangerous, but I'm going to do it anyway, so I don't want the repercussions of what this activity does.
It wasn't because I wanted to do it or even understood why I should do it.
It's like exercise.
It was exactly like exercise. It's a duty. You gotta stay healthy. It's such a downer.
And you know if someone's praying for you, and you know if someone isn't. I've also felt daggers too. Like I've felt where someone's thinking negative thoughts about me too. I can feel them.
And it doesn't have to be driven by like duty. It doesn't actually have to be driven by religious doctrine, I don't think. I think it can be unique to whoever is practicing it.
If you can find a power to let go and hand everything over to, you find that serenity starts to flow into your life and more harmony starts to flow in. Hi, I'm Dave Conway, and I'm here with my wife, Jacqueline. Welcome to the 30-Day Year. On this podcast, we're sharing stories, ideas, and philosophies to show you what it takes to turn your annual income into your monthly income. I've learned that the first step to creating a 30-day year is entertaining new ideas that might at first appear strange or even laughable. But stick with us as we reveal that this idea is a very real way to build success. Our plan is to spark curiosity into what you're capable of achieving by exploring ideas around freedom, contribution, work, life, everything. The content may even disturb your perception of life a bit too, which we hope it does. This podcast is not about us, it's all about you. So sit back, relax, and come in with an open mind. Welcome to the 30-Day Year.
You've said before that personal development without a significant spiritual component is incomplete. So we're going to go there today. We're going to go more spiritual. Honestly, we kind of always end up there, let's be real, but we're going to go there more intentionally today instead of just finding ourselves there. So we're going to talk about prayer, and this was inspired out of a recent live event where you taught way more in-depth kind of ideas around it, and it opened up a lot for people, and it sparked just new ideas about prayer in general for myself, and I just wanted to talk about them today because I think it'll help our listeners and help people potentially just reconcile how they feel about this practice. Because I think there's a lot of weirdness around it.
I think it's unnecessary, but yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so I hope that our conversation kind of like, I don't know, just like neutralizes any weirdness people might have around it, or feelings that it has to be connected to religion. Therefore, if I'm not religious, then I either shouldn't pray or I can't pray, or there's all these, I just want to eliminate some weirdness and just like talk about it. So it's interesting when we had the seminar and you gave people a new way to think about prayer. It was really interesting. And then it was, I think, the second day or the day after that, I asked the audience, what were your thoughts about prayer before coming, and then what are they now? And people were saying things kind of like what I mentioned earlier, like, I didn't know I was allowed to pray. I thought I had to be this kind of a person to pray. Or some people were like, I would pray for like good weather so I could go swimming. Or I would, there was not a very deep connection to it, or there wasn't a lot of thought to it, or there wasn't like the permission to even do it.
Yeah.
It was like kind of all over the place. And so when I think about my own life, and I want to hear your thoughts on this too, maybe when you started to become more aware of the power of prayer for yourself. I was quite young. I was 6. I think I've even shared this story before on this podcast, was when there was a death in my family. I was 6 years old, and it brought me such solace to go to a higher power. And it was, I grew up in a Catholic household, so there was, mass, and you went to the funeral, and there was prayer involved, and I gained a lot of perspective from that as just a young child, and starting to become just aware that there's a presence, that there's like something there, and something to feel when someone is gone from your life. It just feels nice to know that they're not gone. Like their spirit lives on, the energy moves on. We know that energy is neither created nor destroyed. So when the energy leaves our body, it's got to go somewhere. Where does it go, right? So it just, started to open that up in my life from a young age. So it's sad to have lost someone young, like grandparents young, but I'm also grateful at the same time that I got to experience that kind of connection to God young too.
And that introduced you to like something, or something like woke up
That's
in
like
you,
that's my first conscious memory of just God, I suppose, or like something, or just the benefit of prayer. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like I was still 6 years old. It's pretty young, you know?
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about God before that. And I'm not sure I was even conscious of it then. Just when I look back, though, it's just all like a feeling or a sensation. You see people grieving. You yourself grieve. You just cry for no reason. You're just working through it. And it was like that. I really felt grounded through like attending the funeral, seeing everyone kind of mourn together, pray together. It made it real for me, brought that connection into my life.
So what do you think prayer is now then?
Well, I think prayer is a conversation with God or higher power. I think that's all it is. I think it's pretty simple. And I think it's a place that it has to be quiet. It's a quietness. And so for myself, if I sit and pray, it's usually quite meditative. Like sometimes I won't say anything at all in my mind. I just kind of like feel it, I guess. And I think it's an intimate thing. It's a personal thing. But that's where it started for me, was through death as a young person. What about you? When did prayer start in your life?
I guess if we go to the idea of like a higher power, I think I've always felt some power, that there's always a lot more than meets the eye. When I started to communicate with it, I guess it'd be the same, like young age, I would pray. And as I got older, like a lot of my prayers were more reactive to life, not proactive, but reactive. So I think a lot of the prayers are fairly reactive. And we're generally trying to get rid of something or remove something or get rid of a suffering. So when I was a younger guy, I would, go out with friends, and we would, we'd party or do what young people do, drink and stuff. And some of my friends would die. I had multiple friends die, which is kind of interesting because you're sitting around in a backyard or something around a fire and you're drinking a bit. And then all of a sudden, one of your friends dies, like 3 hours later.
Like in the night?
Yeah, like a car crash, or I had some friends that were murdered. I was at a party and one guy was stabbed to death. And you're there in a social setting. So I began to think like, okay, whoa, my lifestyle is quite dangerous in a really weird way, because you wouldn't think it was dangerous. But I had a lot of friends die in car crashes, like I said earlier, like murdered some of them. Other ones had their, heads kicked in and they're disabled for the rest of their life. I had this one friend, Gervais, that had his head kicked in at a bar one night, and he's disabled from that day on. Yeah. And very dangerous. So as casual as that lifestyle was, or seemingly like not dangerous because you're just having a few drinks with some friends, right? There's a significant danger underneath. Yeah. And so I began to pray. So what I would do is, before I would go out with friends, I would generally go into the bathroom and I'd say, God, keep me safe tonight. And then off I'd go. I'd go out the door.
How old were you when you did this?
Like 18, 19, 20.
Okay, yeah. So
I would pray, and then I would go out the door and I'd go and drink with friends. Yeah. And that was a lot of my prayer was like that. So it's like, I know I'm doing something dangerous, but I'm going to do it anyway. So please, don't make me suffer from, I don't want the repercussions of what this activity does. And I remember one time talking to a man, Barry was his name. And Barry said, one day, Dave, something might happen that you can't reverse. And I had experienced that with a lot of my friends. So that woke me.
They had gotten to that point where they couldn't reverse it.
Yeah, a lot of my friends. Some of them are dead.
Yeah,
some of them are, like I said, were at disabilities now because of fighting and getting beat up and things like that. So that I used to pray like that, and I guess it's a strange way of being proactive. But you're trying to escape. I was trying to escape my own behaviors when I would pray. And then it started to shift again a little bit different as I started to understand it a little more, where then I began to use prayer to acquire things that I needed to progress in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that started to work too. So number one, I did make it through all those nights. I did make it through.
Sure.
And then I began to use it for business related stuff, and it started to work. And I remember one time out for a dinner about 10 years ago, maybe even longer now, and the conversation around the table turned to prayer. And it wasn't run by me. I wasn't the one leading the conversation. I was like, I'm going to get everyone to talk about prayer. But basically everybody at the table really began to like poo-poo the idea of prayer. Like, I don't like it. And they started like attacking the whole concept of it. And I thought that was very strange.
Right.
And I remember asking one of the ladies there, I was like, who was really going at prayer, like hating on it. And I was like, that's weird. Why would you hate on prayer? That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I was like, why do you pray? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so you're attacking something you don't even know, you don't even use, you have no experience with. And I was like, you know what? If you prayed for a year, you studied prayer and you began a prayer practice, and you truly, with all your heart, not trying to prove something wrong, but with all your heart opened up to it, and you did that for a year, and you came back to me, and you said to me that you gave me your opinion then, I said, then your opinion would be valid.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, prayer is this communion with a power based upon our current level of desire or need. And as I've progressed through my life, I used to use prayer for things like, please keep me alive tonight.
Protection.
Yeah, protection. And I still do pray for protection.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's more like abundance-based. It's actually, prayer helps me detach too. So I pray for you every day. I pray for my family every day. I pray for all my in-laws every day. Clients, I start to pray for everybody. So, and that way I can detach. So you start giving everything over to the power, not just using it to get, not just using it to protect you from your own stupidity. Or in a case of where someone passes and then you're forced to go to a power. So now today my prayer practice is going to the power every day habitually. And that has altered my life more than any other prayer style of prayer that I've ever prayed.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I think for me, it's got to be prayers of gratitude that I would use regularly. And it can just be the recognition of feeling grateful. Like you just feel the sensation of gratitude. I have this, I've talked about this again on this particular, I'm not sure which episode, but I'd mentioned my Mother Mary tchotchke that I got in Sedona on another episode. And I keep it in our family room in the basement. And I kind of move it around wherever I feel like she needs to be. But whenever I
Where
see
is she
it,
now?
she's in the family room.
Oh, nice.
Haven't
seen her.
No, she's there.
Oh, okay. Hiding.
Yeah, she's not very big. She's just
She
this
does
little...
her work in the.
I should have brought it today.
Behind the
Should have
veil.
had it sitting on my table. Yeah, behind the veil. But I really like it because it's just the cue, just to remember to be grateful. And that keeps me like kind of tuned into that on a regular basis, as opposed to like what you said. Oh, it's shitty times, dark times, gotta pray.
Yeah.
As opposed to just always making it the default when things are bad. Why not just make it the automatic when things are just
prayers
rolling.
For abundance and openness. Another thing I used to do with prayer too. Are we just telling prayer stories?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
prayer
okay.
stories are good.
Okay, cool. So when I used to do construction, I used to pour like foundations for houses and buildings. And I used to put, so my mom is a hardcore prayer. Like,
Yes.
my mom is like a married nun. That's what she is. Her and my dad pray,
a lot.
religiously, like all the time.
Yeah.
And my mom rolls with nuns, and she rolls in prayer groups. And so whenever anyone ever tells me something that's a little difficult, I will then, send that difficulty over to my mom in the prayer group, and those prayers are answered. It's like unreal. So when I used to do construction, I used to get these medallions from my mom, and I get tons of them, and they were blessed. and they were actually Mother Mary medallions. And I used to put those medallions in all four corners of the houses when we would pour the concrete on them. And I would pray for the owners of that house for protection, and that this house brought them harmony and peace.
It's nice.
And I used to do that. And I remember when we were building our house, not this one, but the one before. And I remember going into the bathroom once, and we had a Jehovah's Witness was working in the house.
Yeah, he's the tiler, right?
Yeah, the tile guy.
Yeah.
And I remember going into the bathroom, and before he put the tile over, there was all this scripture.
Really? I wish I would have seen that. I never knew he did that. You told me that like months afterward. I was like, really? That must have taken him so long.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting. Well, I was like, well, I hope it's nice words or whatever.
Sure. I hope so too.
Yeah. Praying for people. Pray
Yeah.
for people every day. Pray for yourself every day.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. Because, for me, it's like started at 6. And then as I kind of progressed through childhood and early adulthood, I'd say that prayer was very much dutiful. Like it was like you're like kind of forced to go to church as a kid, and you sit in the pews, and
it's not taught with joy, really.
Yeah, and then you have to like memorize the prayers, and you're just kind of like, oh. And it was very, it was pretty empty, I guess. It wasn't very deep for me growing up. Like it was there, it was part of the process, but I didn't really understand it. I didn't really understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
I didn't really, I'd say it was probably benefiting, but not knowingly. It was very much connected to duty. Like, oh, I'm supposed to do this. It wasn't because I wanted to do it or even understood why I should do it.
It's like exercise.
It was exactly like exercise. It's a duty. You gotta like stay healthy. So, such a downer. So, I was introduced to it at 6, grew up with it, felt like it was all this duty, wasn't feeling, overly connected or excited about it. Just kind of felt forced to do it.
Yeah. Just words.
Yeah, just words. And I touched base, I kind of mentioned gratitude. That's kind of where I'm at today, where it's evolved to that now. I'd say that prayer really opened up for me in my life when Abby was 8 years old, so she's going to be 12 soon. So it's like about 4 years ago. So it's pretty old, in the scope of life, really. Not too old, I guess. 36. And I took her through her First Communion lessons. And I had to try to give her as much insight into like what Mass is and what prayers are and all these things. And it really started to open up for me then, trying to give it to someone else. I mean, she's 8, it's like kind of, she, like nod at me like, like that makes sense. That sounds good, Mom. I don't know. But it really opened up for me what it was really about. Like even what the, Our Father is trying to say, or the Hail Mary is trying to say, or what the Mass is actually celebrating. And that was a really great experience because it started to just give more context, helped me understand, and became more meaningful. And then since then, it's doing like the study with the clients. Some of our events get very deeply spiritual. And so like taking some of those concepts from the more mental science world, combining them with a little bit of the Catholic world, really begun to open up what prayer really is. So it's become much more of a beautiful practice that just creates peace, creates calm, creates serenity. It's a conversation with God. It's actually quite simple. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be driven by like duty. It doesn't actually have to be driven by religious doctrine, I don't think. I think it can be unique to whoever is practicing it. I think it has to be, as you said, has to be this like intimate relationship. And people were asking questions like, how should I pray? Or what does it look like? And he's like, I don't want to be part of that. That's up to you.
Who do you pray to or whatever? They would ask me, and I said, I'm not getting involved in that. You pray to whatever you want. Like, you want to pray to that shoe? Rock and roll, man. Sure. Whatever works. Yeah, exactly. Just understand that it will expand. Yeah.
And change, and your understanding will
and
change.
You want to desire it too. Like, duties are never, you do them because you have to. Yeah, you don't enjoy them. No. And a prayer life can become a very robust life. And personally, for me, I couldn't imagine living a life without it.
It adds a lot. For sure. I always make the joke that like since we got married, I think you prayed for my like boobs to get bigger. It's maybe TMI, but I was like, they just won't go down. I have this like theory that you're
praise the Lord.
That's something you're up to, which is weird, but I think it might be something to it. So something you shared at the event, and you can, I don't know, maybe you'll want to share this, maybe you won't. leave it up to you. But I really liked how you combined kind of like our integration visualization practice with prayer. Will you go into that? Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so prayer can evolve. Prayer has been evolving for me. And I think when we just boil it down to what is prayer, in my opinion, prayer is a communion with a power greater than yourself. Whatever you want to say, whatever that is to you, could be a feeling. Don't want to get involved in that in any way, shape, or form. But it is some communion. Like you can close your eyes, whatever it is, you commune with something. And you hand over that something. So it's like a conversation, just like you said. So this conversation for me has been evolving as I practice it. And currently, I visualization is prayer for me today. So I have a daily practice that I do where I start by visualizing you and all of your goals, desires, your current self, all your things that you struggle with, and maybe you struggle with things I'm not even aware of, whatever that is. And I pass that over to the power so I can detach. Then I go with Abby, our next daughter, and I do the same. And then I do Lily, and then I do myself. And then I visualize all four of us together, and then I pass the whole family unit over. You remember when you and I went to the Haven House, so we support a children's crisis center. And we were asking the lady who's worked in homelessness for like over 2 decades.
Yeah, about that, I think.
Yeah, a long time. And she said that this is the main issue that we face, or the cause of homelessness, is the families being fractured. That is the root. So they work a lot with the families proactively to try and keep that family together. The children that they're coming out of fractured families. That is where they're coming from. They're not coming out of well-organized, harmonious families, right? So that's where it starts. So it's like in the home. And
the family unit.
So I pray first and foremost for the family unit. And then I see us all together, and I wrap this. I don't like to go too much into it because it is my life, and I don't want to influence anybody else. I don't want to project my concepts onto anybody in this regard, because I think it's a very sacred relationship between you and your power. But then what I do is I wrap us all in like this golden rope, and then as a unit, and then I pass us over. And then I go through my side of the family, every person in my side of the family. I go through every person in your side of the family every day. And each unit, each individual family within our families, I pray for them. I wrap them up and I pass them over. And then I pray for all the past family members where we've come from. And then I pray for all the future ones that are coming down the line. And then I pray again for all the present ones. And then I move on to, our company and the clients within the company and the team. And I just keep progressing down the line. But I use visualization now, and I see everybody as I want to see them. And what that's done is it just gives me solace. Like I don't have to be involved in everything, right? Like it's not me. I can pass you over, because worry comes. Like if you think about worry comes from the things you love the most. The more things you worry, if you love someone the most, you worry the most. The closer you are to love, the more worry you can experience. And that's attachment. So learn to let it go. Like in the Bible, there's a parable or a story about Jesus, not a parable, a story about Jesus, where when he was 12 years old, he was in the temple, and he was like rolling with the Pharisees or whatever, and I think he was educating them. And his mother came, and worried mother, and she, Jesus, like, you be home for dinner. And he said, woman, I'm in my Father's house. Father first, then you. Okay, so the higher power first, then you. Regardless, I know you're my mother, I respect you, but the power comes first. And it's a very deep lesson on that. If you put this power, if you hand over to this power, whatever that power is for you at any point, if you can find a power to let go and hand everything over to, you find that serenity starts to flow into your life and more harmony starts to flow in.
That makes sense, because I think we just get so willful. We grip really tightly, right? And if you just begin to loosen the grip, loosen the like mental hold on things, they do tend to go better. I mean, if you're just like super, super concentrated on something, it's got to be this way, it's got to be done that way, it's usually very stressful. It doesn't really go that well. But as soon as you just let a little bit of ease into the process, if you just relax a little bit, it tends to go better. Kind of, that's what it reminds me of.
I started getting so my family are prayers. Like, I'm not sure about my two brothers. I'm not too sure if they are. I think Niall is. But the Conways do pray. Mm-hmm. Let us pray. And I can feel intuitively, I've felt it now for decades. I can feel my mom's prayers. I can feel them. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. It's
compounding.
Like, yeah. It's like, it's brought me where I am. And it's almost like this like cushion or like this protection thing around myself and my family from the prayers. I can like feel them.
I do know what you're saying. Yep.
And you know if someone's praying for you, and you know if someone isn't. I've also felt daggers too. Like I've felt where someone's thinking negative thoughts about me too. I can feel them. Mm-hmm. So praying in reverse.
Right. Well, it's interesting. I don't think it's as like, I think we can get intellectualize some of these things sometimes. Like we can be scared of them. We can be judgmental on them, all these things. I really think we just have to like suspend all of that. Just relax. Just go inside, have a conversation, try the technique you just described. Like you don't even use words. You just use the visual.
No, I don't even use words.
You don't even use words.
But you can.
You can. I tend to go back and use words. I have keep it more conversational. But since that event, I've been playing more with the visualization aspect of it. And it's not quite a habit yet. I haven't mastered that yet. But it's always just conversational for me.
It's too easy to see things as they are. That's easy. There's no effort to see things as they are. Just open your eyes. It's so easy to see a defect in someone. Mm-hmm. If you can condition the mind to see the good or see individuals in their highest self, you will benefit from that. Yeah. And the truth is, so will they.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I wonder, depending on the person, I'd say if you're more visually inclined, try Dave's style. And if you're more just conversational, try the conversation style. Try the styles out, right? See what feels good.
But if you pray, expect it. Don't just give some words up that without any expectation. It's your mental attitude that can contribute greatly to the actual production of a prayer.
Yeah.
And in a wild way, every thinking is praying. Every thought is a prayer. So.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing with that idea too.
But you told me to stay grounded, so I'm not gonna go there out too far today.
Well, don't hold back on my account.
No,
it's gotta go there.
I will.
Okay. Don't feel you have a duty to hold back there, Dave. If you gotta say something, just say it. It's all good.
No, it's all good.
I think just keep it simple. Just try it out, right?
Try it. It's like the lady I said that I said a few over a decade ago. It was your opinion is worthless unless you tell me that you've been doing it for a year.
Right.
And not just to prove it wrong. Yeah. Doing it to actually experience it. Mm-hmm. So I think we get stuck too much in theory. There was a young lady at one of the seminars that said she grew up going to church and she enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And then her family wouldn't let her go, which I thought was kind of strange, but hey, whatever. And then she thought that she wasn't allowed to pray because she didn't go to church. So that's weird too. It's well, you don't need to go to church to pray. And I think there's a lot of dogma and stuff wrapped up in all this stuff. And it's I think everyone needs to just take it easy and just however you feel is best in the current moment, try it if you want to.
I agree.
I'd never go back.
I agree. Yeah.
Just
give it a try. Yeah. Give it a try. I guess that's your final thought. Any final thoughts on prayer? Just try it.
Yeah, you do you.
You do you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You're allowed to pray. You are allowed. Like, it's not a big deal.
If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to receive notifications when new episodes are released. And if you're interested in learning more about our coaching programs and events, please visit us online at conwaymentorship.com. Dave and I truly value our audience and would love to hear from you as well. If you have questions for us about what it's like to create a 30-day year, please email us at hello@conwaymentorship.com. Your submission may turn into a future episode.
Produced at
Sound Lounge by T-Bone.